All right, hockey fans, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive into the HTFL?
Always ready for some hockey action.
This time we're looking at week 4 of season 2. And from what I've seen, it was a pretty wild one.
Oh, yeah. Lots of goals.
Yeah, so much offense.
Crazy stuff. And, of course, the goalie swap always keep things interesting.
Right. Like, imagine you're a goalie having a phenomenal first half, then suddenly, boom, you're facing a whole new offensive lineup.
Totally changes the game. But before we even get into these games, we got to talk about what makes the HTFL the HTFL.
Yeah, what is it about this league that sets it apart?
What else? The Stanley Bunny.
Ah, yes. The Stanley Bunny, a giant pink stuffed bunny awarded to the league champions.
Yeah.
It's just the perfect mix of, that competitive spirit, but also that pure fun that makes the HTFL so unique.
Yeah, totally. It's like, yeah, they're battling it out on the ice, but at the end of the day, it's all about love of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into these game summaries. First up, we got red versus green.
And green really took control early in this one. I mean, Gary Henley scored 2 goals, right off the bat, first few minutes.
Whoa, 2 goals in the first few minutes.
Yeah, just a couple minutes in.
That's got to be rough for red, right? Like, just demoralizing.
It totally is. It's not even just about the points. It's the psychological impact. They're already playing catch-up, and it lets green kind of dictate the whole flow of the game.
So it's like they lost control of the narrative right from the start.
Exactly.
Oof.
Now, red did have some moments. Tyler Limbean, he scored 2 goals for red.
Oh, okay, so they put up a fight.
Yeah, showed some real skill there.
Limbean, he's one to watch for sure. But green, they just kept the pressure on. Willie Klein had this beautiful backhand goal.
Oh, yeah.
And then Josh Daniels capitalized on a rebound to score.
Relentless.
So in the end, what was the final score?
Green takes it 6-3. Hard-fought game, but green just dominated.
Okay, 6-3. But something that jumped out at me looking at the stats was the sheer number of shots on goal.
Yeah.
Especially for Scott McNitt, Red's goalie.
Yeah, he faced a ton of shots.
Like a lot.
Which says something, right? I mean, green was in control, but red still put up a decent fight offensively. It makes you wonder if this is maybe a sign of things to come.
Yeah, like a league-wide offensive surge.
Maybe. We'll have to see how the rest of the season plays out.
Now, could that have anything to do with the goalie swap rule? Like, does that contribute to more offense?
Oh, it's definitely something to think about. For those who haven't seen it, goalies switch teams at halftime.
Right.
So it's wild. A goalie can be having an amazing game, then bam, new team, new offensive onslaught.
Adds a whole new level of complexity to the game.
Oh, absolutely. Makes things way more unpredictable. But that's part of what makes it fun, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so green takes game 1 with a score of 6-3. And we might be seeing the beginnings of a trend towards a more offensive style of play in the HTFL. Now on to game 2, yellow versus blue. This one was totally different.
Yeah, if game 1 was all about strategic domination, game 2 was just an offensive explosion.
Oh, wow. Sounds intense.
Yeah, especially from the yellow team. They just came out firing on all cylinders.
So if game 1 was like green kind of stifling red's offense, game 2 sounds like it was just a shootout.
Oh, yeah, it was a goal fest for sure. Yellow just dominated offensively right from the start. Mike Lagomba, DT Peterson, they just racked up points early, giving yellow a pretty commanding lead.
And what about blue? Did they just completely fall apart? Or was yellow just that good?
It's probably a little bit of both, to be honest. I mean, yellow was firing on all cylinders, but blue just couldn't seem to find their defensive footing.
So they were struggling a bit.
Yeah, but they weren't completely shut out, though. Greg Henry managed to get one past yellow's goalie with this amazing 5-hole goal.
Oh, nice. 5-hole goals are always so satisfying to watch.
Totally. It was a real highlight.
But even with those moments of brilliance from blue, it sounds like yellow just kept coming back with more.
Exactly. Chris Fowler and David Byther, they were just crucial to yellow's offensive dominance. Byther even ended up with a hat trick.
Wow, a hat trick. That's got to be a confidence booster.
It definitely is. And it really highlights this trend we saw in game 1, right? All this offense.
Yeah, this high-scoring trend. It's making me wonder if we're seeing a shift in the league as a whole, or if it's just a couple of teams with some really strong offensive players.
Yeah, that's the big question. Is this a sign of things to come? It's definitely something we'll have to keep an eye on as the season progresses.
Okay, so let's shift gears for a second and talk about the goalies. Specifically, Scott McNitt. He was in net for red in game 1, and then switched over to blue for game 2. Do you think the goalie swap had any impact on his performance? Especially given that he faced like a zillion shots in game 2 compared to game 1.
It's tough to say for sure. Goaltending is such a mental game, you know?
Oh, totally.
It's not just about the number of shots, it's the quality of those shots, the defensive support in front of you, even a little bit of luck.
Yeah, it's a whole combination of factors.
Right. But, I mean, facing that kind of barrage in game 2 like he did, it's got to take a toll.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally.
So how do you even begin to evaluate a goalie's performance when you factor in the goalie swap? It seems like it would make it really hard to compare goalies across the league.
It definitely adds a layer of complexity, that's for sure.
It makes you wonder if it evens things out in the long run.
I think it does. From a league parity standpoint, the goalie swap is brilliant. I mean, it prevents any one team from having a consistent advantage in net. And it makes every game just so unpredictable.
We've definitely seen that already in these first 2 games.
Absolutely. It's like the league is saying, hey, let's keep things fair and exciting for everyone, you know?
Yeah, it's all about that balance between competition and fun.
Exactly. So now, 2 games into week 4, we're seeing some really interesting trends emerge, right? Potential for more offense, the always intriguing goalie swap. It really makes you think, what does this mean for the race for the Stanley Bunny?
Ah, yes. The Stanley Bunny. Is it too early to start making predictions?
You know me. It's never too early for a little speculation.
Haha, fair enough. But in all seriousness, who do you think has the edge right now?
Honestly, I think it's wide open at this point. That's the beauty of recreational hockey, right? You have this amazing mix of talent and passion, and any team can pull off an upset on any given night.
Is anyone's game.
Exactly. And that's what keeps it so exciting. You never know what's going to happen next.
Which is why we love it. The unpredictability is what keeps us coming back for more.
Yeah, the excitement is definitely building. And speaking of excitement, for any of our listeners who want to see all this action for themselves, where can they go?
Well, the HTFL actually does a great job of sharing their games online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can find them on YouTube. Just search HTFL Hockey Club.
Nice. Easy to find.
Yep. Or you can look them up on YouTube at HTFL Hockey.
Awesome. So you can actually watch these games go down. I love that they make it so accessible for fans. So if anyone out there is craving some fast-paced hockey action and wants to see this goalie swapping rule in action, definitely check out their YouTube channel. And I think they have a website too, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you want like the full HTFL experience.
Yeah. You got to check out their website, thehtfl.net. They've got all the stats, standings, schedules, all that good stuff.
Very cool. Before we wrap things up, I wanted to circle back to something you said earlier about the beauty of recreational hockey. You talked about that mix of talent and passion.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about these recreational leagues that brings that out?
I think it's the purity of it, you know? Like in the HTFL, it's not about big contracts or sponsorships or anything like that. It's just about the love of the game, the camaraderie, the thrill of competition, and yeah, of course, this chance to win that legendary Stanley Bunny.
Right.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to win that? But it's a good reminder that at its heart, sports, it's really about community and shared passion.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Now, for all of our listeners out there, think about what really stood out to you in these games. Was it a specific player's performance, a coaching decision, the impact of that goalie swap? Sometimes the most interesting insights come from just paying attention, forming your own opinions, right?
Absolutely. Engage with the game, appreciate the details, and hey, maybe even come up with your own predictions for who's going to hoist that Stanley Bunny at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's anyone's game at this point. Don't forget to check out the HTFL YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The website is thehtfl.net.
All the action.
And of course, huge thanks to our sponsors. Silly Boys Hockey Club. Their website is www.sillyboys.com.
The best.
Superpuck at www.superpuck.net.
I love those guys.
Advanced Career Institute. Go to www.advanced.edu for more information.
Awesome.
And Fowler Productions Video Services. Their YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/HTFL Hockey.
This has been Riley Bardown
And Ollie Postanin. Until next time, keep your stick on the ice and your head in the game.